Hey everyone, Curse Deck Builder here, making our way to 10,000 decks assisted, and here we are with Ashling the Pilgrim, a Fishy deck by a player named Fishy. Let's get right into it. Ashling the Pilgrim is a 2-mana legendary elemental shaman. They have one ability that says 1 in a red, put a +1/+1 counter on Ashling the Pilgrim. If this is the third time this ability has resolved this turn, remove all +1/+1 counters from the Ashling the Pilgrim, and then deal that much damage to each creature and each player. Now, I don't know if people have been around as long as I have playing Commander, but there's always been a meme about playing Ashling with 99 mountains. And I'm very happy to show you that the deck we're looking at today is exactly that. It's Ashling the Pilgrim and 99 mountains. When this deck came to me, I thought, man, how do I improve something that's already so perfect? Everything you need is in the deck. You've got your commander, and you've got the mana to cast and use her ability. It really was pretty tough on me to sit there, look through it, try to figure out what I'm going to change, but I thought a lot about it, and you know, Ashling is really good, so I think I'm happy with her, but looking at the next part of the deck, the 99 mountains, I thought I could make a few suggestions to improve it. So if you ask me, the deck is perfect as is, but there's a few things I'd like to do. So first of all, I know this is kind of silly, but let's just talk about the fact that we could be playing snow-covered mountains. I think we should play maybe like 10 of them. I get 99 mountains, anything you put in is an improvement, but I think the first thing I want to put in is just like a few snow-covered mountains. That way our opponents aren't quite sure what's going on. You know, we get technically 2 basic land types in our deck of mountains and snow-covered mountains. We have access to an entire other color of mana, snow, a very, very powerful color in a deck like this. So I think this is definitely the biggest addition to the mountains, but kind of a joke. Now, obviously, we can do better than this, so now that this one's out of the way, let's get into the real additions to make Ashling a lot better. The first mountain I would change and add a bit about would be the Brothers War mountain. I really like this art. I like that its border is really well done. I like this kind of robot dragon on top and the burnt cinders of the forest. I think if you play this, you know, in your Ashling deck, it really gives the vibe of Ashling going off and just exploding and destroying everything. But, you know, the giant mountain remains in the background, stoic and impenetrable, reminding you the power of red mana. And there's a really cool dragon on it. So that one I think would be my first addition. I think really, like, I would say 5 to 6 of these. I wouldn't go past that. After 5 or 6 of this art on the mountains, maybe you're just losing a bit of its power. I don't know. Redundancy is key, but there is a point that I think, yeah, it might be overdoing it. So let's go to the next one. This is the Zendikar mountain. This is one of the first full arts I ever played with. It's a mountain and it's kind of this weird ring around it. We're going to talk about what mountains really are really soon, but I think this is a card that I would really, for nostalgic reasons, put like maybe 2 or 3. 2 or 3 of these cards. I think they really set up Ashling to really show off what she can do. I think when you tap this, your opponents are going to kind of be like, oh man, Zendikar, I love Zendikar. And maybe they're going to target someone else. I always say when it comes to politics, you got to offer people reasons to work with you, to trust you. And having a really cool art from OG Zendikar, I think that's going to get them to go and focus on other people. I would say that's a really good. So 2 to 3, not too many. After the first one you play, your opponent's going to look at this art and go, oh, I've seen this before. You're playing it again. It's getting a little old, and they're just going to attack you. It's just what's going to happen. It's really, really rough. So just 2 to 3. 2 to 3. You want to see it once every game, maybe once every 2 games. After that, we're going to go to a little further into the future with Zendikar Rising, and we have this mountain here. And this is the start of a kind of theme that I think a lot of red decks are missing these days, because red's the color of action, emotion, direct, you know, like plans, you know, you do direct damage, you do combat, you combo off. That's what red's all about. But here, not only do we have an excellent source of red mana, we have the beginning of a bit of, let's say, a confusion or disorientation towards our opponents. Because you look at this, And those, are these mountains? I think they're volcanoes, right? But they're flying high above the sky because these are from the skyclaves, right? So these skyclaves have risen to the sky, and there's volcanoes on them, and then the magma and the lava is seeping out, and that makes no sense. And like, how are you getting red mana from it? It's all the way over there. Don't worry about it. You know, it just works. This feeling is like a lead up. It's starting to get your opponents kind of questioning things. And we're going to take advantage of that real soon with our next edition. This is the mountain from New Capenna, 1 of 2, and the one I really like. Because you play this, it's vibrant, it's exciting, it gives you red mana, and your opponents immediately have to question. Is a series of really tall buildings a mountain? It's a good question. You're getting red mana from it. It's definitely a mountain. I don't know. Does that mean any cluster of buildings built in a very impractical way like this will give you red mana? I don't know. Go downtown, take a look, see if you can channel some red mana. Your opponents are now getting a little more unsure. Are you really a mono red deck? Is this maybe an artifact deck? It does look like Darksteel Citadel. Can you tap Darksteel Citadel for red mana? Is this land indestructible? They have no idea. This one, I didn't say for the previous one, but between these two, I would definitely go 6 to 8 copies each. They're really good. They come out early. They get your opponents just kind of off balance, and they don't know what's going on. So, big fan of these. I would get a lot of copies. Next, this is perfect. The Unfinity Planet Mountain. This is fantastic because, like, that's not a mountain, right? There is no way that's a mountain. That's a planet, is what your opponents will be thinking. Every time you tap this for red mana, they're gonna be losing their minds, just like, that's not a mountain. And what's even better about it is it doesn't even have the red mana symbol, which is a fault of the upcoming card, but this one is perfect. Your opponents have no idea what's going on. It is red, I'll give them that, so they're like, okay, red, it's probably a mountain, but they're gonna have to check it. Every time they want to cast a spell, they're gonna have to look over and see what that is and try to figure it out. Every time they're going to combat, or every time you attack them, or every time you activate Ashling, someone's gonna stand up and go, excuse me, you need red mana to do that, and then they'll look at this mountain and go, oh, yeah, okay, I forgot. Really, really good. And what it does is that player who keeps doing that gets really annoying, and your opponents are gonna attack that player. They just wouldn't want them out of the game, because nobody wants someone who points out that art is confusing around. So, excellent. I would definitely say maybe 4 to 5 copies of this. In doubles, because when you stack up, they lose their power, because once you identify this as a mountain, the other copies of this are obviously also mountains. So fantastic. So just 5 to 6. Coming up after is this mountain. Now, I had said before, the problem with this mountain from Theros Beyond Death is that it does have the red mana symbol. However, I still think it works because it's not a mountain, it's a constellation. Maybe not even that. Is this a nebula? What is it? It's like vapors in space, right? Or if it's a Nyx, it's dream space? I don't quite understand it. All I know is it taps for red mana. I called a few people that I know, a few channels, a few content creators, and I talked to them about this mountain. They haven't responded to my comments, but I think this is something they're probably thinking about a lot. Like, the fact that this taps for red is really, really confusing and is kind of essential to the deck working. If I can take a moment to go back, you may have forgotten, but I'll go back to Ashling. Ashling's ability and mana cost both take red mana. So with that in mind, this mountain is really, really important. I would easily say 10 copies. I know that seems like a lot. I know it seems like you're going to cause a problem and you're going to flood, but 10 copies of this mountain is going to get you really, really far. If you don't like it, comment below, let me know. I'll go back, I'll change the video, I'll delete this video, make a new one, and say, hey, I was wrong. This mountain is terrible. So I'm open to being, convinced out of this. Hopefully the other content creators get back to me, or any of my letters I've sent. That would be really nice. But until then, I'm still going to recommend this. This is the big one for me, though. This is the really, really big one. So this is from Innistrad Midnight Hunt. And I'm pretty sure there's like 3 different versions of this card. No, just the 2. There's the third one is a special one, the Crimson Vow one. But I'm going to compare it to this one as well. These 2 lands are just impossible to understand what they are. And I love that. That's so strong. This is not a mountain. It's a valley. right? It's a valley. But because of its black and whiteness, and, you know, we just have that tinge of red, but you can't see that across the table. You know, if you get this in foil, I know it's expensive. I hate recommending expensive cards. But if you get this in foil, and you have, you know, the right kind of sleeve, and your opponents are sitting across from you, and the light hits it, they can't tell what, you know, they can't see the red. You know what they see? They see an island. It looks like a river. Now you might say, Curse Deck Builder, come on, man. A river's not an island. I know, but apparently a valley's a mountain, so we should take advantage of the cards we're given. Play this. Honestly, if you play both arts, which I would, because this also kind of looks like an island to me. Yeah, there's mountains, but what is this? It is smoke? It's water. It's clearly water, which makes it an island immediately. You play these, you are getting really, really far. Your opponents are going to be expecting counter spells. They're going to like double check everything they do. And every now and then you're going to tap one, you know, just out of nowhere. They're going to be trying to cast like Smothering Tide, and you're going to tap two of these, and they're going to look at you with panic and fear, and you're just going to activate Ashling. It's going to be so, so good. So, so good. Absolutely fantastic. So just, I would say, you know, these are the cards you might think that, you know, if you have too many of them, you might have a problem. Like previously we said the space, the planet's mountain, once they figure one out, they'll figure. That doesn't apply here, right? What you got to do is if you've got like 6 of each on the battlefield, you put one of these and then one of those, and then one of these and one of those, and you put those in little piles of 2. They have no idea what's going on. They all look like islands. You're a blue deck all of a sudden. You might be saying, well, what about the other lands? Tuck the other lands underneath these. It's genius. So not only do they not know how much mana you actually have, they don't know what color you're playing, what you're doing, what you could have in your hand. Fantastic. Amazing, amazing cards. I think honestly, like, if I would build this deck right now, I would start with like 15 of each. Just 15 of these cards. And I promise you, you will not feel bad about those purchases. And if you're not going the foil route, which I get it, you know, we're all poor, it's fine. They're 30 cents each, not foil. It's a good start. Coming to the end, I did want to say, I've shown a lot of full art mountains, and I don't want to give people the impression that that's what I'm all about. So I wanted to put in one non-full art mountain from, I believe this is the Jumpstart Devil one, and this is a pretty good price for such a cool looking guy, right? 23 cents for just this cool face. You know what? It's Highlander. I would play one. I would play a single version of this mountain, and when it comes out, your opponents know it's over. Look at that face. That's the face of someone who's about to win the game. So play just one. Just one. There's a few others like this, especially around the Jumpstart, that have this kind of like fun little groove to them. Especially this like lightning mountain thing that's going on. No idea what that's about. I don't think lightning and red ever go together, so I'm not quite sure about that. So don't play any of those. Just play one of these. Just this face. Just this face. In fact, what I would do, and this is just me, is I'd get 2 copies. One in the deck, and another one I would tape to the front of the box. You can just use masking tape. Duct tape actually works really well. And then you're just gonna stick it on there, and you're just gonna put it there, and whenever you go see your friends, you're just gonna put it down. It doesn't matter if you're playing Magic, if you're playing another board game, you're playing Dominion, it doesn't matter. Just slap it down, look at them, and say, hey, I'm so glad you invited me to your engagement party. I brought my Ashling the Pilgrim deck. Finally, I wanted to suggest, just honestly, the last cards. I know we're just having fun in games here, but really, these are kind of essential to the deck, and it's fetch lands. It's honestly, I think we're at a point in Commander that you can't not play fetch lands in a mono red Commander with 99 mountains. I think we've really, as a community, gotten too lax about it. We've been talking about casual Commander, like, you know, like it's a completely different thing. No, I don't care if you're just showing up with precons. You should go and buy fetch lands. You should buy fetch lands before you buy sleeves. Honestly, play them unsleeved. It doesn't particularly matter. You got to remember that these 4 mountains, well, they're not mountains, sorry. These 4 lands will fetch any mountain out of your deck. So we've gone through all of these. You know, the community doesn't like tutors, but like, you need to figure out which one you want at any given time. There's a right time for each one. You know, your opponents are easily, they're afraid of heights, grab the new Capenna land. They don't like scary faces, grab your one of Jumpstart, you know? And then whenever you want, either in a Strad Midnight Hunt, you know, these weird black and white terrible cards, you have access to both of them at all times. It's fantastic. These 4 cards are so good. And something, you know, nobody talks about this, but they thin your deck. I don't know if you know this, but 100 cards is a lot of cards. Now you take out your commander, you draw 7, you're left with like what, 89, 88 cards in your deck? I don't know. But the idea is that it's really hard to get any singular card in your deck. Like especially this deck. It's really hard to find out. Like you need to guarantee getting the right mountain. So having these as tutors is really good, but every card we pull out of our deck increases the chances of getting something else. Every time you pull a mountain, the next mountain is easier to get. You know, at this channel, I try not to make a big deal about it, but fetch lands should be in every commander deck. Thank you so much for watching. April's my favorite month. This is my birthday month, so I hope you guys are having a great time. Thank you for supporting the channel. And Ashling the Pilgrim, this has kind of convinced me that I really need to build her. I'm going to probably sit down right after this video, and I'm just going to start going through all of my cards, just piles and piles, and look for the right mountains. All right. Thank you so much, Fishy. Good luck. Thank you so much for watching. This video is brought to you by viewers like you and people on my Patreon. If you'd like to send me another draft of this deck, or any deck, there is a link in the video description down below. And if you'd like to make your deck one of my donation decks I work on, there's a link there too. Finally, if you'd like to like, comment, subscribe, I would be very appreciative. It helps the channel quite a bit. Thank you and good luck in brewing and building.